All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on the stream.
이제 traffic greener 8 heavy take over runway. RKSI. Direct BOPTA.
All right, so we're gonna do a flight from Incheon to Shanghai Pudong Airport. Just give me a second to get everything squared away. Let's get the doors closed and we'll do our briefing here. Okay, I got the fuel pumps on. Let's get the APU rolling. Alright guys, I'll be pilot flying today, right seat, takeoff. Got a good airplane, Naomi yells. Current weather here in Incheon is good weather. Winds 220 at 7, slight crosswind from the left. Clear below 5,000. Temperature 270.20, altimeter 1010. Hectopascals, we have that set. If we have an emergency, we can just come back in on the ILS 33 left. 1093 is the frequency. Predicted taxi route today is going to be runway 34 right. I'm going to push tail to the east off of spot 647. Taxi out of the cargo apron number 2. We got hotspot 2. Details on that right here. Possible traffic conflict. Do not proceed taxiing beyond the TCP without clearance from the apron or ground. Runway exit via Echo after landing on 33 right is available when specifically authorized by ATC before landing. Okay, that's not really a factor for us, but make sure we don't go beyond without clearance. Make a left turn onto Delta, continue on Delta. And hotspot number 2 is still the same hotspot, same deal. Right turn onto Juliet, hold short of 33 right. Once we get our clearance, we're going to cross 33 right, hold short of 33 left, hotspot number 1, see what that says. Caution, runway incursion risk, do not cross a hold marking for 33 left on Kilo or Juliet without ATC clearance. Okay, copy that. Self-explanatory, get a clearance cross on Juliet. Make a right turn here onto Romeo 8, continue southwestbound on Romeo 8. Then we're going to make a left turn onto Mike, taxi over to Mike 5, make a right turn on Mike 5, hotspot number 4. I went ahead and marked our green, our taxi route. So hotspot, which hotspot was that? Number 4. Possible traffic conflict, aircraft moving on Romeo 1, 4, 5, and 6 must maintain a safe distance with aircraft on Alpha 4 or Mike 5. So Romeo 1, 4, 5, and 6. Also, possible taxiway confusion, don't proceed taxiing beyond the TCP without clearance from ground. Okay, we know that Romeo 1, 4, 5, and 6. So make sure we have our adequate separation from other airplanes if we're taxiing near other airplanes. Anyway, nice long dry runway available for takeoff. Runway length, we have 13,123 feet available to takeoff. Any abnormalities prior to 80, I'll reject for any bells or horns. Anything prior to V1, we're only going to reject for engine failure, engine fire, or fire warning, predictive wind shear, or if the airplane is not going to fly. V1 and above, we're committed to flight. I'll fly the airplane. We'll take it airborne, treat it as an in-flight emergency. I'll handle the aircraft as well as ATC and the checklist since it's all single engine. We're going to follow the SID as to not penetrate the restricted area to the north with North Korea. Papa 7-3. There's details on that in here. We'll plan a LNAV, VNAV all the way up. We're doing let's go ahead and brief our departure. Seoul, Incheon, Korea, the BOPTA 2 Yankee departure, effective October 1st at 16Z. Climbing left turn off 34 left, heading 349 to YD020, then YD040 at above 4, YD070 at above 7, YD100 at above 10, YD130 at above 13, and then YD160 at above 16, YD190 at above 19, and BOPTA, which is our compulsory reporting point. Highest obstacle on departure is 2173 over by BOPTA, shouldn't be a factor. We need a climb gradient of 6.5%, so we'll call it 1700 all the way up to 17,000 feet for clearance. Shouldn't be a problem because we're relatively light today. Speed restriction here, departure turn is limited to a max of 230 knots. And turning bank angle based on 20 degrees until YD020, which is right here. So no turns before the departure end. No significant remarks. Transition altitude is 14,000 or flight level 140. So we'll switch over to pressure altitude 1013 or standard from that point up. And that's pretty much it. Minimum safe altitude if we need it, 3,900. Does that sound like a game plan? I think it does to me. Let's go ahead and rock and roll here. Now that we have the APU running. Connect the bus. Make sure all the doors are closed. They are. Perfect. Just run the checklist. Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen tested 100%. Flight instruments. Heading 153 both sides, and altimeters 1010 with a altitude of 50 feet. And the rest of the checklist is green, so checklist is complete, or pre-flight checklist complete. Before start checklist. Let's actually get the pushback rolling. So we don't need the power anymore. Request pushback. There they are, they're getting in position. Perfect. Okay, before start checklist. Flight deck door. Closed and locked, we don't have one, we're cargo. Passenger signs on. MCP. V2, 160. Heading 319, altitude level 190. Takeoff speeds 136, 144, 160. CD pre-flight completed. Trim 5.0 units. Taxi and takeoff briefing completed. Beacon. Beacon is on. A4 start checklist complete. Alright, so next is before taxi. We won't start that yet. We'll get over to the engine page. And let's go ahead and verify that nobody's behind us. Or we're going to taxi next to us, and let's push out of here and get the engines running. Okay, brakes are released. Clear to push, tail to the east onto Delta. What taxiway was that again? Delta 9? Yeah, Delta 9er. Perfect. Alright, we're rolling. Let's start up 1 and 4. One and 4 coming. Alright, engine 1 and 4 are running. Here comes 3 and 2. Engine start sequence is all automated, so we don't really have to monitor or babysit it too much. Alright, push is complete. Set parking brake is set. Alright, verifying oil pressure, fuel flow rising. EG2, you've already got a light off. Alright, the rampers, looking for a 3 rampers pin in the bag, which it doesn't simulate, so we'll just pretend like we saw it. Because this airplane doesn't simulate the auto throttle very well, at least we need a little more power than 85%, so I'm going to set the power manually, and we'll plan to take off without auto throttles. Okay. Alright, we got a good start. Standing by flaps 10 degrees. Flight control check. Make sure we got positive movement on both sides. We do. We can't click the recall button in the sim either, or at least in this airplane, unfortunately. And we'll make sure these are all in auto. Okay, there we go. Alright, before taxi checklist, anti-ice, auto, recall, checked. Flight controls checked, ground equipment clear, before taxi checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist, before takeoff checklist is complete as well. Because we have
Cathay 411, taking off runway.
Alright, next is after takeoff, so we'll go back to the engine page and let's taxi out. Brakes are released. Taxi light coming on. Minimum takeoff per the release is, we may or may not abide by this, but according to this here, minimum takeoff is 32, call it 32.9, but we'll see. Alright, start taxiing out. Let's get the APU off. We don't need it. Alright. So we got about 1,100 kilos to burn for the taxi, which we should be okay with. It is a relatively long taxi, but I don't think we'll burn that much. Oh, forgot the, there we go, mode C. Incheon traffic, Giant 511 heavy, taxiing from the cargo ramp to runway 34 right. Incheon. Alright, it's tapped.
Incheon traffic, this Cathay 411, climbing to 380, passing 1,700. Final call. Incheon traffic.
Alright, we're coming up on the transfer control point. I think it's 7 Yankee. 4 Yankee, sorry. So we'd get our clearance here. Transfer control point 4 Yankee. Ready to taxi. So clear left. Clear right. Going left. Yeah, and that's what that hotspot was talking about, hotspot number 2, making sure that we actually get our clearance from apron or ground at our transfer control point before we actually enter onto Delta or leave the apron. Another good idea is for both pilots, or 3 pilots, or 4 pilots, depending on the operation and whatnot. Make sure that everybody's heads are outside during as you're crossing through a hotspot area. Make sure everybody's watching each other's back, and mistakes will not be made. Alright, we're going to pretend this guy's not doing this. Look at this. Figures, huh? Alright, remember we got to make the hotspot continues here as well. We'll make a right turn onto Juliet and hold short of 33 right. We'll verify that there's no traffic and we'll cross. Make a call and we'll cross. There is somebody landing right now, but I think they're landing on 3-4 right. But what we'll do is we'll make a call here. So hotspot, make sure we don't accidentally turn right here onto Delta 1. And that would be the wrong move, right? Alright, clear left. Clear right. Going right. Verifying finals clear, all external lights come on. Strobes, wing lights. Incheon traffic, Giant 511 heavy, crossing runway 33 right on Juliet, gonna hold short of 33 left, Incheon. Alright, we're here. Cross here. So yeah, clear left, clear right, clear across. Alright, let's see who's landing. Oh, somebody is landing on 33.
Incheon traffic, Hong Kong Shuttle 631, taking off runway 34 right, Incheon.
So we're gonna hold short of 33 left because I don't know if this airplane is landing on 33 left or not. We're gonna go ahead and err on the side of caution, and we're gonna hold short of this runway here. I think they're landing on 33 right, but we'll hold here just in case we're wrong. So external lights come off, taxi light included. Do the captain's flow, strobe, wing. Alright. And it might be a good idea to set the parking brake. Make sure the airplane doesn't start going forward. It looks like they're landing on 33 right, but again, we're gonna wait here and because I'm not gonna assume anything. Once we verify that they're landing on 33 right, then we'll continue taxi. But it does appear that they are landing on 33 right. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the judgment call. Let's go ahead and cross. Brakes release, back external lights come back on. We'll make a call. Let's make sure again. There they are. Yep. Alright, clear left and clear right, clear cross. Incheon traffic, Giant 511 heavy, crossing runway 33 left on Juliet, taxiing to 34 right, Incheon. Alrighty, so we're going to continue straight. And we're going to make a slight right turn to get onto Romeo 8. Slight right. Which you'll see in the diagram actually right here. Here it is. Slight right, right here on Romeo 8. Whereas right here. Okay, see Alpha 8. Alright, so we're clear right, clear left, going right. A little bit fast on the turn, that's alright. Okay, we're now on Romeo 8. I'm sure this is a transfer control point as well, 8 Echo. Probably contact another frequency, whatever they tell us, or whatever they would tell us. Oops, correcting. Looks like we're going to use up all that gas taxiing. It's a good thing I put extra gas on for that. LOL. Okay, I don't like the TAI on there. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these off. We don't need them anyway. Just to get rid of that message. There we go. Scenery looks good. It ain't gonna look very good in Shanghai though, because it's all default scenery there for me.
Traffic, give me 4B9, 9 up for me, 34 right.
We'll be number 2 behind Cathay 439. Or 439. Alright, verify the what's next on our taxi route. Continuing So we're first going to cross Romeo 4, and the next taxiway after Romeo 4 is Mike. Make a left turn on Mike, continue down, cross Mike 6, then make a right turn on Mike 5, straight ahead to hold short of 3-4 right. Hotspot 4. Again, make sure we have adequate clearance for other airplanes that are going to be on that taxiway or whatever. Did we not? Yeah, we forgot to turn these off. That's rude. There's Cathay 439 on the way to Hong Kong. Okay, and then we'd look over here. Okay, that's Romeo 4 with checks of their chart. So what's over here? Mike. That's the one we turn left on. Contact tower 118.8. Follow that, unless ATC tells us otherwise, right? So we're about to make a left turn on Mike. So verify clear left, clear right, and going left. A little fast for the turn. That's okay. Not worried about it. Okay, now we're going to cross again Mike 6, so then a right turn on to Mike 5. And we'll bring up the departure, which is the, I forget the name of it. BOPTA 2 Yankee departure. There it is. Keep in mind that obstacle to the left, 598. That's why we don't turn until the departure end. But, okay, eyes outside, coming up on hotspot 4, Mike 6. The taxiway signs are checked, or we're checking to make sure. So, okay, clear left, clear right, and we're going to go right. How do we know this is Mike 5? Well, it's the end of the line, right? But also, what does our taxiway sign say here? Mike 5. Right? And then it also in big black with yellow letters. Mike 5, that's what we're on. Okay. No inbounds, so we're going to rock and roll. Lights are coming on. And we already, our minimum takeoff fuel is verified, 32.9, and we got 32 or 33.2, so we're good. All right, clear left, clear right, clear for takeoff. Incheon traffic, Giant 511 heavy, departing runway 34 right, Incheon. Looks like 3-4 right to me, based on the white letters. Alright, let's go. Let's bring it up to 88%, see how that goes. Alright, set takeoff thrust. This is good. Takeoff thrust set, 80 knots. Might have been a crosswind correction. Rotate. Positive rate, linear up. That's the inner marker going off. We're at the departure end of the runway, starting left turn. 1500, flaps 10, or correction, flaps 5. We forgot to set a mode. There we go, LNAV. And VNAV. Sorry. Flaps 1. Sorry, the left turn to avoid P73, prohibited area 73. We don't want to get shot down. Flaps up. After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete. We can take off the taxi light. I'm gonna go Command R. Autopilot's on. Doing very well in performance. It's going to be no factor. 10,000 feet. I'm going to set our cruise altitude now. Flight level 360 set. Airplane is continuing the left turn ahead of YD100 because YD100 is not a flyover waypoint, it's a flyby waypoint, RNAV waypoint, as is the rest. If there was a circle around this, it would be a flyover waypoint, and we would have to fly right over it. Okay, flight level 140, transition altitude, standard is set. There's Incheon, where we just departed. And we gotta have this up so we can see everything. One thing on the briefing that I didn't really cover, because I did it prior to the stream, I verified everything was in there, is verifying all the fixes are as they should be in the proper sequence throughout. So, Give you an example. Legs page number 1. Set this to plan. And you can step down right here with this every fix. Step down and you can see it on the ND. And it'll center that fix in the ND so you can verify everything is correct. Alright, 180. Lights out. Oh, we should have had the strobes on. Yeah, keep those on. Okay. So yeah, verify all that. Alright, all the fixes and whatnot. And on to the arrival into Shanghai. Which I did off stream, verified everything was in there. But what we'll do is we'll do it, we'll brief the arrival again. Okay, there we go. And we're good up to 36. We're actually good all the way up to 38, but we'll stay at 36. It's fine. Gonna add some power. Get us a little bit better of a climb rate. It's still good, but it'll be even better if we add more power. Let's go with a bit more power. Or thrust, rather. Sweet. Alright, we've already met all of our restrictions on the arrival, or the departure, so we're looking spiffy. Always make sure your fixes are in view on the ND. I've seen people where it's like this. You can't see where the next fix is. Like, if this one didn't exist, you can't see when the next one is. Or, when I was jump seating on Alaska a few weeks ago, they had it all the way out. I don't really care for that either. I'd rather have it in. Like this is probably perfect. At least for me. It's personal preference, of course. But, as soon as we hit the top of climb, we'll go ahead and brief the arrival and the approach. Make sure Shanghai is still landing on 17 right, which they are. So it shouldn't be an issue. And we're going to go to taxi, or to go spot number 326 is where we're going to taxi to after we land. I'll pull that up. 326 is way up here. Cargo apron number 3. So I'd say it's pretty reasonable to turn right off of high speed or rapid exit on Charlie 3, and then right turn on Charlie, left turn Charlie or Lima, or Charlie 4, then Lima 15 to spot 26, or Charlie, and just Charlie 3 continue to Lima 15, and then left turn on 326. I'd say that's probably what we're going to get, or what we're going to do. But anyways, we got 2,000 feet left, so once we level off, we'll get everything squared away. I'm going to go ahead and get the auto throttle armed. I'll let the airplane take over for that. Alright, 35 for 36. Run the numbers here, approach. We'll plan flaps. We'll do flaps 30 because there's a tailwind, I think. But let's go down to Salty, METAR, and how do we request a METAR here? Is there a way to do it? There might be a way to do it. METAR, VATSIM. Let's see. Here, I think it is here, requests. Weather, PTC, that's cool. Weather. Let's request the destination. Request METAR. 8 cars uplink, so messages at 8:22, which is right now. Click that, and there's our METAR for Shanghai. So, all right, we're at 360 level here. Go ahead and click fuel. All right, let's check. The air. Okay, that's there. Okay, cool. Fuel. Put the fuel there, and then we'll put that there. That way we can monitor the fuel. Alright. Z-speed. This was issued on the 3rd at 800 Zulu. Wind 070 at 7 meters per second. That's about 07014 roughly. Visibility greater than 6 statute miles with a 9999, scattered ones at 1,000, few clouds at 3,000, cumulonimbus clouds. Temperature 270.127, altimeter or QNH 1008. We're actually going to put that in. Oh, is this what's going on here? I want to see this. Looks like somebody's horsing around. That's kind of cool though. Can't really see it. Ha! I don't know what that was. Somebody's below us. Oh, the cafe. 414. Okay. There's no problem here because we're going to be going a different direction here from where they're going in a little bit. Anyways, where was I? QNH 1008. Let's go ahead and put that in there. And a standby, right? Don't activate. Don't click this in because we're all pressure altitude, right? So, okay. Let's recycle this and brief the arrival. bring it down to where the arrival is. DUMET, right? Or DUMET, let's get rid of that. Let's bring up the chart. Okay, we got Shanghai, China, page 20-2 Delta, effective June 10th at 16Z. No significant remarks. Transition level is 11,800 feet, which translates to roughly 3,600 meters. Okay, that's our transition level coming down. But we're going to cross DUMET at or above. I don't know why this doesn't stay here. At, okay, 15.7. I guess we can't. Anyways. Not sure why that's not in there correctly, but let's make sure we put it in here. 15.7. I guess it won't go in there. Okay, let's just brief the chart then. I don't know why it's not doing that. Anyways, alright, DUMET at or above 15,700. Cross PD 230 at or below 6890 at 230 knots. PD 232 at or below 6890 as well. PD 233, PD 234, PD 235 at 230 knots still at or below 220 or 6890. Then MP1, its initial approach fix for the ILS Zulu 17 right at or above 2960, max 210 knots. Flight north of North 3127 is strictly prohibited without air traffic control clearance. Highest obstacle 2080, it's northwest of the field. Minimum safe altitude, if we need it, 3,700 feet. Here's a conversion for you, and there's a lost comms page as well, which we'll just briefly look at it. Lost comms is on 20 point, so 20, where is it at? I thought I had it on there. I guess I don't. It's on there somewhere. Alright, let's just go right into the approach. Alright, Shanghai, China. ILS Zulu 17 right, 21-7 is the page, effective June 10th, 16Z. Localizer identifier IKM, frequency 111.1, final approach course is going to be 068. Mandatory across 9.3 DME IKM at 2960 with an ILS DA of 211. Touchdowns and elevation 11 feet, minimum safe altitude 3,700 feet. Transition level, as we stated before, 11.8. MP1 max 210, 2960. PF5 at 180 knots, PD053 at 180, mandatory 2960, so we'll stay at that altitude. Intercept the localizer, or the glide slope at that altitude. Subspeed limits to keep in mind, make sure we cross PF5 at 180, PD0153 at 180, and 60 ME at 160. Here's our conversion chart there. Simultaneous authorized approaches 16 as well. If unable to comply, let ATC know. Already verified our altitudes. 3-degree path down to that DA of 211 right here. And we need a minimum of 550 meters. And note by the 1. So as long as we have a flight director, an autopilot, or HUD to DAs, then we can use that. Pappy on the left side. TCP ALS Cat 1 approach lighting system right here. This approach altitude, climb to 500, then a right turn heading 098 to 980. Or 990, and then right turn to PDL VOR. Liu Zhao, and 348 left turns for the hold, max 210 knots. Nice long dry runway available for landing on 17 right is 10,138 feet. Plenty of runway and a bunch of hot spots, which we're not going to actually cross any of them if we clear at Charlie 3. But if we do have to clear at Charlie Pop 2 or Charlie 1, then hotspot 3, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Runway crossing, busy area. Okay, it's busy. Eyes outside is how I'm going to interpret that. That's pretty much it. But I've already verified all the fixes prior to the stream, but we can kind of just go through each fix like as I would and verify all the fixes. So one pilot is verifying with the chart everything that the pilot flying is saying in here, what it is. So the pilot flying is going through all the fixes and the altitudes here, and the pilot monitoring is making sure that the fixes match what the altitudes and the speeds are supposed to be. In this specific add-on, we can't set speeds, unfortunately. But then our hold, we verify that there are 348 left turns, 1 mile, or correction, 1 minute legs. That's pretty much the. And what I want to do is, actually, we can't do that. Disregard. All right, we're good. Let's go ahead and go out of plan mode. Get the control column back up. Recycle our heading bug. Make sure that our flight is tracking on here. It is perfect. And the VNAV in this is probably non-existent, if I remember correctly. Well, let's make sure everything's good in here. Nav 17 right, 111.1. Okay, that's there. Perfect. Alright, so DUMET at or above 15.7. We'll call it 16, right? If I want to do our 3 to 1, right, 16,000 feet is 20,000 feet away from 36,000 feet. So if we take the math, we get rid of these zeros, right? 36 minus 16, and you get 20, right? 20. 20 times 3 is 60. So we'll call it 60 nautical miles before DUMET intersection is when we're going to start a descent down. So DUMET, there it is. So we'll call it 40 miles from DUMET is Accra. So another 20 miles. We'll call it Lamin. Just after Lamin, we'll start a descent down. Does that sound like a plan? Anyways, this is a bit too much briefing for me. I think you guys get the gist of everything going on. Let's speed this sucker up, how about that? I think that sounds good. wait a minute, he's at 36 as well. Let's, actually no, he's at 38. Okay, well, that's fine. Sorry, I think, I thought he was going to be a lot lower, because I saw him a lot lower, but he was still climbing. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. We'll stay where we're at. Check our fuel. We may never get to the point where we have to turn the overrides off and then turn off the crossfeed for engines 1 and 4. So we should be fine. That's the only thing about the 7.4s on long hauls. You kind of have to babysit the fuel, and you'll get that fuel ENG message on there, which that's all that really means, is to turn off the not want this. Turn off the overrides, which is right here for overrides for engines 2 and 3. Override here and here, and here and here. And cut the fuel crossfeed. Then each engine will burn from its respective tank. It's because you can't carry as much fuel in tank 1 and 4. So there's 4.6 in there, right? It's not going down at all because all the so engines 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all feeding off of main tanks 2 and 3. And you can see that with the green line here. So, and the override pumps, all this really means is that these tanks are going to override 1 and 4, because you would have a really big imbalance if that wasn't the case. So, it's an old airplane. It's been around for decades. Just got to get used to it is all. I think there's a way to keep this up. Unpin? No. There is a way to keep this up, but I can't remember how to do it. Whatever. Not worried about it. I think you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to explain with the arrival and whatnot. Hello, sir. How are you? Avhian Yankee. Or Yankee. Good to see you. We're still a little bit of a ways away from Shanghai. Not too terribly far, but we still have another, I don't know. We're not going to start our top of descent until just after Lammen. Our plan is to do the this arrival coming in, DUMET 1 arrival from DUMET for the ILS Zulu 17 right approach, which is right here. Initial approach fix will be MP1 there, and our taxi in is going to be relatively easy. Right here. We're going to plan the first high speed or rapid exits, Charlie 3, and then We'll probably make a right turn onto Charlie and then a left turn onto Quebec 4. I thought this was Charlie 4 earlier. It's actually Quebec 4, then a left turn on Lima 15. Right turn into spot 326. That's the game plan right now. Couple of briefing pages that I saved because they're relevant to our flight and our preparation coming in. Right here. Pilots shall control indicated airspeed and indicated airspeed shall be 180 knots. Until 7 DME, basically. 7 miles to touchdown. 7 nautical miles. So that's easy. I do that anyway, so. And departure, we're not departing. Yeah, it's pretty much the gist of everything. I am a real pilot, yes. I do not fly the 747 though. But I am a real pilot. I fly for an airline based in Honolulu, Hawaii. I just got back in yesterday. I have 13 days off this bid. So I'm doing 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off right now. It's a pretty good schedule. Last month I only worked 8 days, which was actually really nice. Spent a week in the Philippines. Flew to Denver, Colorado for a wedding, and then came down to San Diego. Visited some family, and then I had to go back to work about a week and a half ago, and now I'm back here in San Diego, good old San Diego, California, and I'm streaming. I can't get away from airplanes, right? Airplanes at work, airplanes at home. I do have 2,500 hours on VATSIM. I assume that's real, because I feel like I have more, but I've been flying on VATSIM for a long time now, actually. I think about 10 years almost. Yeah, about 10 years on VATSIM. Prior to VATSIM, I probably have another 10,000 hours on both combined between FSX and X-Plane 11. I started flying on X-Plane or on FSX in 2010. I think that's when it was. Maybe it might have been earlier than that, but yeah. So you've been flying on VATSIM for a long time too. You have 2,000. Very nice, very nice. What do you like to fly on the sim? Are you Airbus or Boeing guy or general aviation? I'm on Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 right now. I don't have 2024 on PC. I only have this one. I don't have a great PC. Eventually I'll get a new one. But this one is Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. And in Honolulu I have a PS5 and I have Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 on there. But I don't use it for VATSIM or anything. But Airbus is good, man. I had a buddy that flew the Airbus for about a year and a half at Delta. He said he loved every minute of it. Such a good airplane. And then now he's flying the 757 and 767 now. Doing a lot of Europe out of JFK. as much as he loves the 7.5 and 7.6, Airbus is definitely a lot more comfortable of an airplane. Even in the jump seat too. Like, I haven't jump seated on an Airbus, but every time I've gone into the cockpit to ask for a ride, it's been it looks very roomy compared to the 7.3. You know, A330-200 is good. I was just on that yesterday from Honolulu. Great airplane. I like the 2, 4, and 2 seat configuration in the back, because I got cleared by the gate agent and it was seat 27B, and I was like, oh man, I'm going to be in a middle seat. Not realizing, oh, I'm actually on a 330 and not a 321. Thank God. So it worked out nicely. But the window seat was open, so I just sat in the window seat. But 330 is pretty cool. I know last month I had to jump seat on the 7.3 on Alaska, and that jump seat in the cockpit is really cramped. I've never had a Charlie horse in my thigh until that day, or that night. Yeah, man, that was pretty brutal for 5 hours sitting in that seat. I do love the 737, but the jump seat is not it, to put it lightly. So we got about 80, so 4, 8, 120, about 130 and 140 nautical miles until Lammen, which is our top of descent, or my expected top of descent, because if we look at the arrival on here, we got to cross DUMET at or above 15.7. I'll call it 16, right? Make the math a little easier. 16 is so 36 minus 16 is 20, and then 20 times 3 is 60, so that's about 60 nautical miles from DUMET, which ends up being right around Lammen, just a little bit past Lammen. Very nice, out of EGLL, London Heathrow. I haven't done any flying in Europe on the sim, and I think I did one last month actually. Yeah, it was to Frankfurt, but are you on the sim right now, or are you flying for real, or let's see if I could find you on the map here out of EGLL. Looks like ground is online over there right now. Destination MYNN on VATSIM. Okay. Somebody just texted on here. Here. Traffic. Okay, they're doing the approach. Alright, MYNN. Where is that? I've heard. I know it's somewhere in. Where the heck is that? Let's see. I'm gonna find out. Are you on the ground in London Heathrow, or are you airborne right now? Oh, I guess I could click and see the departures to MYNN. Let's see. There you are. I see you. You're over the Atlantic right now. on the 777-200. Nassau, that's right. I knew I'd heard that somewhere. I'm like, it's somewhere like east of Florida. Forgot what it was, but Nassau, yeah. Been flying for 4 hours now in the air. Okay, BA-20 Foxtrot. I see it. Very nice. And you're under, you're doing position reports right now with, who is that? The flight service station. Shanwick Radio or Gander Radio. Clearance is not available PDC there. That's cool. Well, you're about to go out of Oceanic. Coast in. And you'll be, well, you would be in radar contact, but very nice, very nice. Should be a fun landing with the 777 into Nassau. I've never flown into Nassau in the sim or in real life, but I've heard it's fun. It's pretty. Have to visit there in real life one of these days. Okay, let's actually look at the fuel. Still haven't burned enough to transition over. We'll just wait till the message, the CAS message pops up on the on there. So, what do they call it in the sim? ECAS. ICAS. Yeah. Check to make sure that ATC is not online. It's not. Still on 22.8. 122.8 is the Unicom frequency that we're using. Let's see. Take a look at the outside of the airplane. I do jump seat a lot on this carrier that I'm currently flying right now. I've jump seat on them all the time to Asia and from Asia. Very good group of guys and gals, but I like to sit right here for the landing, right in this seat. I can't move over. Most of their planes don't have a comm system here, so I can't talk to them. I can hear them, but I can't talk to them. But if you sit in this seat, it's a better view. Let's see. But 7.4 is a really cool airplane. Let's see, how many hours do you have on VATSIM? You have 2,000 hours, man. Division, Southeast Asia. Yep, I go to Southeast Asia at least once a month. I have a girlfriend in the Philippines, so I go back and forth all the time. Let's see. We're about 80 miles till Lammen. 85 miles till top of descent. Bush flying? Not really. The kind of flights that I do are just point A to point B without doing anything crazy. But I fly inter-island flights in Hawaii. Coolest job I've ever had by far. It's a lot easier than my last job, I'll tell you that. And used to be a flight instructor, teach people how to fly, and good experience, but I prefer being an airline pilot. Much prefer it over instructing. Bush flying would be fun though. There's actually a lot of guys at Atlas that came from bush flying up in Alaska. A lot of bush guys. Yeah, we do a lot of legs in one day. I fly roughly, our average is 8 legs in one day, is how much I fly in Honolulu. I've done as many as 12 legs in one day. I've seen somebody do as many as 14 in one day. Which, if we're being honest, that's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of legs to be flying in one day. That's that maximizes your duty day. Like you're maxed out, and you're right at the 8-hour limit too as well. 8 hours of flight time. Sometimes I do, but never to the point where I've had where it's made me to the point where I can't do my job. It's, you know, it's a normal kind of fatigue where it's like, okay, I'm tired. I've done 6 legs. I've briefed this approach, you know, already 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. It gets to the point where it's just like, okay, briefing is same as previously briefed. Any questions? Takeoff briefing is the same way. It is fatiguing, you know, for sure. 8 legs is fine though. Once you start to get more than that, that's where it gets tiring. 6 legs is like, that's okay. I could add a little more. 4 legs, it's like, okay, what am I doing at work? Or 5 legs even. I feel like I'm not being productive enough. But 8 is like the perfect medium, I think. Yeah. Yeah, 8 or 9 is pretty rough. Sometimes. But again, I've done as many as 12. You know, that was a lot though, because they added. We were supposed to do 8. Or wait, it was one of those days. Yeah, we were supposed to do 8, but then we land back in Honolulu, and another crew, their plane went into maintenance, and so those other 2 legs came onto us, and then the same thing happened again later. And we were still within our 8 hours, barely, 8 hours of flight time, and we were almost at max duty. I think we still had an hour and a half before we went past max duty. But it's the name of the game. I mean, inter-island it's fun flying. The legs are short, you know, 20-25 minutes, so they're not long. And most of the planes that I fly have autopilot, so at least we have that going for us. There's a couple planes that do not, like what was it, the plane I flew yesterday? No, not yesterday. The day before yesterday did not have an autopilot. And we did 8 legs with no autopilot. But the AC worked really good. So I guess it's a give and take. I do. I fly the Grand Caravan. The Cessna 208 Caravan. Such a fun plane to fly. But if we're being honest, I think I'm ready to go to a 121. I feel like I've been ready. Nah, it's the best flying I've ever done though. Still is. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Alright, so we're within 50 miles of top of descent. We're going to go ahead and do the descent checklist. Since we can't recall, we'll say it's done. Recall is checked. Nodes checked. Auto brake off. We're going to do manual braking. Oh. Let's make sure that our speeds are, okay, 147 with, okay, 30 degrees of flaps and 147 for our VREF. So, okay, recall checked. Nodes checked. Auto brake off. Landing data, VREF, minimums, what did we say it was? 211? I'm going to set that here in a second. Approach briefing is completed. We did it. Descent checklist is complete. So I'm going to put 220 in here for our minimums. Reduce it down to 220. Alright, minimums are set. Let's do one last check for the for what the METAR is. Request. Okay, there's received messages at 902Z. Here it is. Alright, latest winds 180 at 5 meters per second. Good visibility, scattered clouds 1,000, few clouds 3,000, cumulonimbus. Temperature 28, dew point 25, altimeter or QNH 1008. We have that in there already. Becoming thunderstorms TL0910. I don't know what that means. Becoming something 910, but that doesn't sound good. TSRA, thunderstorms, rain, and moderate rain. So it's gonna be bumpy coming in. Let's see where the weather is. I use both paid and default. Like Shanghai, for example, it's gonna be default. I don't have scenery for it, but I do have scenery for Incheon. But yeah, there's going to be no scenery in Shanghai, unfortunately. Also, we set meters in here because this part of the world, China specifically, uses meters, and Russia, they also do. So we have that in there. And you can put whatever you want in there. I'm not going to have anything in there. But DUMET, or DUMET, at above 15.7. I did check to make sure that it had 1.7 right, and it looked like it did in the map. So we'll see if it actually does. I hope it does. If it doesn't, we'll just sidestep to visually to another runway and figure out the taxi from there. But when I did check, it did have 17 right. At least on the map, top-down map. That's for Shanghai Pudong. Alright, ATC is all still not online. Make sure this is still tracking. It is, cool. And we're away from all the other airplanes, so we'll be able to descent at our discretion. We're still in Incheon FIR, but Lammen is where this changes, so in a couple of minutes. So we won't really get to experience the cruising altitude at, in meters, because Lammen is the point where it changes to the Shanghai FIR, and everything changes over to meters. But that happens to be where our top of descent is, so. VATSIM radar? What do you mean exactly? Like for traffic, I use, looking at Navigraph right now, and there's a setting on there you can choose to views of VATSIM traffic. Alright, let's put this down. It says VNAV path, which we're not going to do that because I don't trust the VNAV in this airplane. Like 15.7, and alright, let's start down vertical speed. And we'll do about 2,400 feet per minute, I guess. Or no. Here's the green banana right here. We call this the banana. So we want to be at or above 15.7. So we don't need to descend that fast. We'll try 2,000. And what we'll do is we'll slow to 280. Do you know why my friends joke about doing bush flights in Mexico? Why? Cartel bush flying, man. You gotta get that. Hey, you gotta get that money somehow, right? Just kidding. I'm gonna keep this at a lower, yeah. But alright, we're coming down now. Yeah, let me see if I can show you on here. So right here, toggle online traffic network settings. There's VATSIM. You can click live traffic and live ATC. And there it is. You can see all the traffic. And you can see where I'm at right here. We're in the Shanghai FIR now. DUMET and yeah. All these different compulsory reporting points. One thing we didn't cover actually was that, actually no, not a single fix on here is a flyover waypoint. I thought maybe the missed approach point if it was like an MDA, which right here is a missed approach point, looks like 1 DME, 1.1 DME. Disregard what I said. Anyways, I'm going to turn this off because we don't need it. It's kind of congesting the whatchamacallit. Alright, here's the arrival. And remember 16 at DUMET, so around 29 or around 26 would be 10 times 3, 15. So as long as we're at least 15 miles away, or wait, that doesn't make sense, right? 10 times 3 is 30, so 30 miles away. So at 30 DME from DUMET, we need to be roughly 26,000. Probably a little less would be preferred. I have not yet. The Caravan is the only airplane that I've flown for a airline operation. Hopefully that's going to change here within the next 6 months. But we will see. So. Okay, 30 miles, we're at 26. I'm gonna keep descending at, let's just do it at 2,400 feet a minute. Make sure our numbers are still the same. It's not 146, so we're gonna still do 146 and flaps 30. This is still 111.1. Awesome. Alright, man, well, thanks for joining. I should be touching down in roughly 20 minutes-ish, give or take. But I'll be doing another stream probably tomorrow, if you don't make it, so. But appreciate you joining, man. We'll talk next time, bro. Enjoy that nap. I'll be sleeping right after this, actually, as well, so. I'm going to do 2,600 feet a minute. Shanghai traffic, Giant 511 Heavy, 60 miles to the east, descending via the DUMET 1 arrival for the ILS Zulu 17 right approach. We're descending out of flight level 210, Shanghai. Okay, what do we remember where our transition level was coming in? Right here. 11.8. Still got 12,000 feet. So. Alright, reduce it down to 2,000 feet per minute. Remember the fixes that are above 15,700 or whatever that is in meters. 4,800 meters. Alright, we're approaching 18,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and turn our lights on. Won't turn these on until clear for the approach, and then this one for clear to land, but I'm going to turn them all on now because I'm going to forget later. And I'm single pilot, so me being single pilot, I don't have anybody to watch me to make sure I don't screw something up. Here we go. We could even skip the whole line completely and go direct from here to Papa Delta 235. And I think I might do that. So Papa Delta 235, instead of doing this whole racetrack around, let's do that. Papa Delta 235 right here. Boom. Does it look good? Yes, it does. Execute. Awesome. Now we make a right turn. And 6890. Flight will change. Oh, that went too fast. So with this, I might have just screwed myself with like, oh, we only have 20 miles to descend. Right, or 22 miles. So we may have to use the boards. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow to 230. Because that's what the speed was calling for anyway, for the all the way throughout the entire sequence. And we're going to have to drop the boards so we can slow down. But 11.8 is the transition level, so we're still got another to a couple thousand feet. So I'm going to take this, bring it right back here, and the airplane is going to unrealistically slow down very fast and go down very fast at the same time. Here we go. So 68, we'll call it 7,000, so that's 6,000 feet. We got to lose 6 times 3 is 18, so we're almost right on track with our descent angle. Now, let's recycle the heading. And we're almost to our transition level. Okay, transition level. Alright, 1008 set. Approach checklist. Altimeter is 1008. Approach checklist complete. $10K. Okay, so 3,000 feet, 3 times 9, or correction, 3 times 3 is 9, so we can actually slow our descent down. Don't need it to be quite as aggressive. Get rid of the boards. I'll just use flight level change. 2,400 meters for 2,100 meters. .230 is a perfect speed to be at because it's just right at the up bug, so we can stay clean the whole time. Bring up the approach, ILS 7 right, or 17 right. Max 210, 2960. So we'll just continue down. So we'll call it 3000. Let's do a nice slow descent down. You don't need to, doesn't need to be crazy. Vertical speed 500. Make sure the numbers are still okay, we're good. It doesn't even have to be 500, we can do 400. Shanghai Pudong, Giant 511 Heavy, 25 miles to the east, descending to intercept the ILS Zulu 17 right approach, Shanghai traffic. Put the terrain radar, see what pops up, nothing. Do 300 feet a minute. This will help us out with slowing down as well, because we need to be at 210, no more than 210 at MP1. So we'll be able to dump the flaps to flaps 1 and slow down to 210. We have the localizer identified. IKM 162, should be 168, but that's okay. Yeah. go ahead and start adding flaps now. Flaps 1. Steady speed T10, T10 set. We'll descend a little faster now. And we'll go flaps 5. Vertical speed 700. I think that's the storms that are around the airport. We're going through it today. Hope you guys don't mind. Alright, slowing at 180. Flaps 10. Shanghai Pudong traffic giant F111 heavy is initial approach trajectory ILS 17 right, descending out of 3,900 or 1,200 meters. Shanghai. 4,000 descending 3,000. Look at these windmills. It's cool. Man, they really slow everybody down on this arrival, huh? Okay, starting our left turn onto the localizer. Localizer still not alive yet. Localizer is alive now. altitude captured. Approach mode. Localizer captured. Oh, we are... What's going on with our altitude here? Level change, we need to climb back up here. Not sure why the airplane went below, but it was not supposed to. Still not doing what it's supposed to do. Should level off here. And we're not going to extend the gear until right before glide slope intercept. Or maybe 1 dot. Alright, so approach mode is armed, meaning it should, right here, the white glide slope should capture the glide slope coming in. Do I trust it? No, not really, but we'll see what it does. Gear down. Okay, glide slope is captured. Meaning that we can set missed approach altitude, or it's already set 3,000. And we're waiting until 7 DME to start slowing down, and then we'll get the rest of the flaps out and do the before landing checklist. Shanghai Pudong traffic, giant 511 heavy, established 8-mile final, runway 17 right, Shanghai Pudong. Alright, let's start slowing. Flaps 20. Flaps 20, flaps 30 for landing checklist. Or landing checklist it would be called in this airplane. And once this is all green, you just say land. Okay, there it is, landing checklist complete. You don't even have to say each one because it's green. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get the autopilot off. Autopilot's disengaged. Gonna hand fly the rest of the way in because I don't trust this thing. It's already going below. Correcting. Thousand feet, airspeed 149, sync rate 500. Checked. A little bit right, correcting, a little bit high. And fast. Alright, I'm going on the Pappies. 4 white, still high, got a long runway though.
200.
Minimum's landing.
100.
We're gonna touch down a little bit long.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Extended. Deployed. $60 knots. Okay, we made the first high-speed Charlie 3. Autopilot, or APU's coming on. Pops up, please. Alright, we touched down quite a bit long, but that's okay. Alright, clear left, clear right, coming right. It was an okay landing. Touchdown was okay. Could have been better, and we touched down way long. But that's alright. Alright, well, welcome to Shanghai. Shanghai Pudong traffic, giant 511 heavy, clear of runway 17 right, Shanghai Pudong. Alright, let's connect the bus. Not sure why that's still on. Yeah. Clear left, clear right, going right. Correction, going left. Clear left, clear right, going left. Okay, this is spot 325, next is 326. This is 326 right here. Taxi light's coming off. Park brake set. Shut them down. Connect external, AP is coming on. Alright guys, thanks for joining. More streams will be coming our way soon. Welcome to default Shanghai. Hey, at least we had a runway in front of us, right? And then we didn't like show up and there was like no runway. But alright, let's do a checklist here. Shutdown checklist. Hydraulics, can't mess with those. Fuel pumps off. Parking brake is set. Fuel pump should be off though. Valves. We'll keep those on. Yeah, we'll call that good. Secure checklist IRSs coming off now. There's the exit lights and packs. Can't mess with those either. Let's close this out. Hey, at least the taxi was quick. Alright, there's that. Disconnect that. X. Nope. There it is. Alright guys, thanks for joining. We'll see you guys in the next one. Shoots!